Are you planning a road trip through Italy's stunning landscapes and historic cities? Before you hit the road, you might have some questions about how the driving culture is or what rules you need to be aware of. So let's get you ready for an unforgettable adventure. Welcome back to Roadmap to Rome, your guide to exploring Italy. I'm Tuet, and as you can see, I'm in my car because today we'll be driving in Italy to help you get familiar with Italian traffic regulations and how to navigate on both narrow streets in the cities and on the highways. We'll help you prepare for your Italian road trip and hopefully also help you make it as smooth and enjoyable as possible. Driving in a foreign country may seem a bit intimidating, and we have all heard stories about Italian driving culture that might seem a bit scary. In this video, I will share my experiences about all of this and my best info on toll booths, speed controls, parking and restricted traffic zones, so buckle up and stay tuned. The freeways in Italy are, in my opinion, good. Of course, this assessment will depend on where you're from and to what you compare it with. But this footage shows a variety of highways from the highway around Rome, which is called the GRA, or the Grande Raccordo Anulare, to different regional highways called Superstrada or Autostrada. As you can see, there are usually 2 or 3 lanes, and they are rarely very narrow. This footage is filmed on various days and times and outside of peak rush hour. This gives a pretty normal view of the traffic. Bear in mind though that when approaching the big cities in rush hour and at the start and the end of holidays, the traffic will be much heavier, so take it easy and don't rush it. The unspoken rule in Italy is that lanes to the left are for high speed, the lane to the right is to give way and to take it a bit more slowly. To the left, you will sooner rather than later get someone pushing your bumper to get past you. This is, however, not a sign of aggression, but an indication for you to move to the right to give way. Apart from the big cities during rush hour, honking is not as common as the stories go. But a honk is often given to signal presence, to say, "Hey, here I am," and not necessarily to express anger. Especially when navigating through towns, you will hear honking when people turn and cross, to give notice. Not much to worry about. The highway system in Italy has toll booths upon entering and exiting. When you enter, you pull your ticket, which is very important not to lose, as you will need it to pay the correct fee upon exiting. The toll station is fairly easy to understand. Telepass is for those having a prepaid subscription, and the choice of cash or card in either an automated or a manned booth. Based on your ticket, you'll pay the correct fee depending on the type of road and the distance traveled, typically between 3 and 10 euros. I mentioned speed earlier, and you will see a lot of locals driving like bats out of hell, ignoring the speed limits. But there are controls, both automatic and manual, and you will be stopped if going too fast. These automatic speed cameras, called autovelox, are all over, and if in a rental car, the ticket will come through the agency even months later. However, you can never be sure if there actually is a camera inside the autovelox. Anyway, my advice is to respect the speed limits. And speaking of speed limits, on the Autostrada, the limit is usually 130 km per hour, which translates to approximately 80 miles per hour. And on the Superstrada, the limit will typically vary between 90 and 110 km per hour, which again translates to approximately 55 to 68 miles per hour. Most Italian cities and towns have a restricted traffic zone in the historic city center. This is called a ZTL, or a Zona a Traffico Limitato. In fact, one of the most common reasons why tourists get fined in Italy is because they unknowingly enter a ZTL while it is active. Usually the fine will be in the range from 80 to 300 euros, depending on what city you're in. If your hotel or rented apartment is located inside a ZTL, ask them upon arrival if they can register your number plate with the local authorities for the duration of your stay. This is usually free of charge, but this permit is usually restricted to an area within the ZTL, not the entire ZTL itself. Another urban legend is that in Italy everybody drives under the influence. Yes, you will see people have a glass of wine and then drive on from the restaurant. But random controls do happen, although not frequently, but if you should be involved in an incident, you will be checked for blood level alcohol. And if over the legal level of 0.5, there will be consequences. If you are a young driver, however, with less than 3 years of experience, the limit is 0, so don't take any chances. When it comes to parking, I will say that the culture of doing as you please often is the norm. But at the same time, every small town has their own parking attendant going around writing tickets, so you will get fined if you try to get creative. The white lines indicate that the parking is free of charge, but sometimes during regulated hours, look out for signs put up by the authorities. The yellow line indicate special permits. Usually this means parking for residents, and the blue lines indicate parking for a fee. But if you come across a space like this with both a yellow and a blue line, please check the sign thoroughly, or ask a local if you're still in doubt. You pay with cash or card at the machine or by app. Check the signs if you can use a parking app in that area. Happy driving!